This is Radio Nepal. I'm Manjil Ghimire with the news. The headlines first. Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal Prachanda stresses national unity for strengthening multicultural democratic society. United Nations Conference on Climate Change COP28 accepts long-standing mountain agenda for the first time. And Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu hints new deal underway to release Gaza hostages. Now, the news in detail. The Vivaha Panchami festival is being celebrated across the country today by worshipping and paying homage to Sri Ramchandra and Sita. The festival, bearing religious and cultural significance, is observed on the 5th day of Shukla Paksha, the waxing phase of the moon in the month of Mangsir, according to the lunar calendar. It commemorates the wedding of Hindu god Ram and goddess Sita that took place in the Treta Yuga. Ram and Sita were married in Janakpur, the capital city of ancient Mithila, and their marriage is celebrated to this day. The Vivaha Panchami is celebrated with gaiety and religious fervor, especially in the historic city of Janakpur Dham today. The thousands of devotees offering prayers at the famous Tanaki temple since early morning. As per Mithila culture, various events as Matkor, Tilokotsav and Swayamvar are held in addition to the marriage ceremony. Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal Prachanda has stressed the national unity could be strengthened only by the multicultural democratic society. Addressing a concluding ceremony of Navadurga Bhavani Devi procession celebrated every 12 years in Kathmandu yesterday, Prime Minister Prachanda said Nepal is a multi-ethnic, multilingual and multicultural country. He added that protection and promotion of culture is a shared responsibility. Prime Minister Prachanda stated that Nepal's constitution has provided right to each Nepali community to protect their language, script, culture, civilization and heritages by maintaining religious freedom. Furthermore, Prime Minister Prachanda asserted that some forces in the country are daring to spread an illusion against the Constitution and democratic republic that institutionalize the cultural diversity, communal identities and their rights. He also called for efforts at people's level to protect culture's identity and honor and the endeavor to build a socialism-oriented society. Likewise, Prime Minister Prachanda has argued that Nepal would give a new message related to humanity to the international community. Inaugurating the main office of a charity, Manav Seva Ashram at Hetauda yesterday, Prime Minister Dahal stressed that Nepal could be renowned in international community from the message of humanity. Prime Minister Prachanda also pledged to provide patronage to the Manav Seva Ashram. He requested the three tiers of the government to actively get involved in campaign of human service, appealing to support the social organizations and individuals working tirelessly in the field of benevolence. President Ramchandra Paudel and Vice President Ram Sahai Prasad Yadav met at the President's office in Sital Nivas yesterday morning. The President's press advisor, Kiran Pokharel, said that during the meeting they discussed the contemporary issues of the country. Minister for Communication and Information Technology Rekha Sharma has said the new generation should work for the preservation of Nepal's customs, cultures and traditions. Addressing the 7th General Assembly of Madhya Paschim Literary Council in Kathmandu yesterday, Minister Sharma stated the new generation should remain proactive to end social ills and anomalies. She observed that the youth should have a role in maintaining order and discipline in the society, since those holding power have captured each and every sector in the society. The effects of climate change on mountains have been reflected in the decisions of the United Nations Conference on Climate Change COP28 for the first time. In the annual climate conference that took place in Dubai of United Arab Emirates from November 30th to December 12th this year, the mountain did not only gather publicity but also get priority. Mountainous nation Nepal has been particularly drawing the attention of the globe to the climate change-induced impacts on mountain ecosystem since COP15 that was held in Copenhagen of Denmark in 2009. In the inaugural ceremony of the COP28, UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres cited Nepal's reference to deliver his message that global warming has rapidly triggered the trend of glacier melting. The UN Secretary-General had made an on-site observations of the Mount Everest and Annapurna base camps during his visit to Nepal on the eve of COP28. The high-level visit had also encouraged Nepal to explore and raise the mountain agenda in the UN conference. As per the Paris climate deal, the international community had agreed to limit the rise of Earth temperature within 1.5 degrees Celsius till the end of the century. Nepali Congress General Secretary Biswa Prakash Sharma called for the leadership in the party to take new challenges. Addressing a program in Baglok district yesterday, General Secretary Sharma said that the upcoming national convention of the party to be held after 2 years would choose a new leadership. He also emphasized that the people's representatives elected from Nepali Congress should correct their weakness and the party leadership should deliver in the best interest of the country and people. The Central Investigation Bureau, CIB, of the Nepal Police has arrested a man on the run after committing a crime of fraud from the UAE and brought him to Nepal with the help of Interpol. Spokesperson of CIB and Superintendent of Police Nabaraj Adhikari told that the Komal Raj Upadhyay of Sarlahi was arrested and brought to Nepal. The court had issued an arrest warrant against him on charges of committing fraud, and hence he was arrested in the UAE and brought back to Nepal yesterday for the purpose of taking action in the related case. A total of 51 people had filed a complaint against Upadhyay, saying that he took money from them for employment in Dubai but failed to do so. This news comes to you from Radio Nepal. Now on to some international updates. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has made comments suggesting that new negotiations were underway to recover hostages held by Hamas. In a televised press conference yesterday, Netanyahu called the climate conflict an existential war that must be fought until victory despite pressure and cost, and said Gaza would be demilitarized and under Israeli security control. His statements came a day after Israeli forces mistakenly killed 3 of more than 100 captives. Netanyahu said Israel's offensive in Gaza had helped clinch a partial hostage release deal in November and promised to maintain intense military pressure on Hamas. Earlier yesterday, Qatar confirmed that talks were underway for a possible new truce. On Friday, Israeli forces admitted to mistakenly killing 3 Hamas-held hostages, all in their 20s, in the Sizaya area of Gaza City, where the troops are engaged in fierce fighting with Hamas. Israel continues to pound Gaza, killing nearly 19,000 Palestinians since October 7. Thousands more are feared buried under rubble. The 10-week war has flattened much of northern Gaza and displaced 85% of territory's population of 2.3 million from their homes. International Organization for Migration IOM has said more than 60 migrants are believed to have drowned in a shipwreck off the coast of Libya. Citing survivors, the UN agency said the vessel left in the city of Juwara with around 86 people on board. It said high waves swamped the boat and that 61 migrants, including children, were missing and presumed dead. Libya is among the main departure points for migrants trying to cross the Mediterranean and enter Europe. The IOM estimates that more than 2,200 people have drowned while attempting the crossing this year alone, making it one of the most dangerous migration routes in the world. Those making the trip are typically hoping to land in Italy before making their way to other European countries, some escaping conflict and persecution, others in search of work. Now the weather forecast for the country. With the partial influence of westerly winds across the country, Meteorological Forecasting Division has forecast the weather to be partly cloudy in the Lumbini province along with the hilly regions of the rest of the provinces and mainly fair in the rest of the country today. According to the latest information provided by the division, the minimum temperature of Kathmandu Valley is recorded as 6.5 degrees Celsius and the maximum temperature as 18.6 degrees Celsius. With this, we have almost come to the end of this news bulletin from Radio Nepal for this hour. But before wrapping it up, let's have a reminder of the headlines once more. Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal Prachanda stresses national unity for strengthening multicultural democratic society. United Nations Conference on Climate Change COP28 accepts long-standing mountain agenda for the first time, and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu hints new deal underway to release Gaza hostages. This is all we have for this bulletin. Our next bulletin in English will be at 2 in the afternoon. You can listen to us online on our website www.onlineradionepal.gov.np and our mobile app. For more news and information, keep listening to Radio Nepal. Have a good day.